In this video, we'll be discussing about Hive database introduction. We'll start with understanding what is Hive, what are its features, and we'll look at the detailed architecture to see how exactly Hive works. And we'll also be looking at various DDL and DML operations in Hive. And we'll also do a hands-on session to perform various DDL and DML operations. So let's get started. So let's understand what Hive is. Hive is a data warehouse infrastructure tool. This is not really meant for any transactional systems. It is meant for purely a data warehouse environment where we mostly, do the data loading on a day-to-day basis, or in any schedule, either a batch, nightly, or several times in a day, wherein we keep dumping the data but not really modifying the data, such as updates and deletes are not frequently done on Hive database, right? So that's the primary purpose. You create the data warehousing solution in Hive database to process only the structured data in Hadoop. Hive supports only structured data, but if you go with HBase and other technologies, they process semi and then other types of data. So Hive is all about structured data. It is very much similar to any other databases like SQL or SQL Server, but with the exception of having Hadoop HDFS in the background, right? It leverages Hadoop um, to perform all the data analysis and processing, right? So that's why we say that it's always residing on Hadoop, and it's easier to perform any data analysis and processing because we are not really writing any MapReduce programs here. It is just about writing a Hive query. We also call it as HQL, right? So it was initially developed by Facebook for their internal usage, but later on the Apache Software Foundation took it over, and it's been developed in the Apache Foundation, and it's currently, even it's open source under the name of Apache Hive, and it's being used by several companies across the globe. One of the example would be Amazon, but there are several thousands of companies to make use of Hive database. Now let's look at what are some of the features. Right, it stores the schema in a database and processed data into HDFS. So what it means is that it leverages the HDFS concept, like distributed concept, to perform any aggregation or any processing of data using the data nodes. We'll talk about how it is getting processed in the next slide. We'll be discussing about architecture, right? So that's how we will be looking into it, and it is designated for OLAP, online transactional processing, like most likely write many times, but write once and read it many times, right? All those OLAP reports are read in multiple times, right? So that's why Hive is meant for or designed for OLAP systems. It provides a SQL type of language for querying the data underneath, right? It's also called as HQL. You don't have to write any MapReduce. Hive query is very much similar to any MySQL or SQL Server, wherein we would be using select star from so-and-so table. So that internally converted into a MapReduce program in the Hive engine, right? It's also called as execution engine. We'll look at that in the architecture, and it's a very familiar, fast, scalable, and also extensible. Because in case of higher data processing, all we do is expand or scale your underlying HDFS and your data nodes. That will be very easy because of commodity hardwares in the background, right? So that's why we call it as scalable, fast, and extensible, right? And also there is misconception, especially with Hive. Hive is not a relational database, right? It's not like an Oracle, but wherein it is suitable for OLTP kind of environment, right? A language for real-time queries and low-level updates. So this is what Hive is not about, right? So we have to be really sure what it is about and what it is not, so that we can make use of Hive appropriately in a particular use case. Okay, so here is the Hive architecture. If you look at it, this section, the first half section is all about Hive, and the second section is about Hadoop, right? So typically Hadoop contains, a resource manager, job tracker, right? That works directly with mappers and reducers, and each of those operations uh, connect to name node and then process the data or any aggregation on the data nodes, right? All the data processing happens on the data node. Name node is something which controls the data node, right? It has the information of what part of data block is stored on what data node, right? So that this is like a master, and these are the worker nodes, right? So whenever we perform any high query execution, what happens is, if you look at this arrows and the sequence here, the first one from UI, whenever you execute on any high query, it first goes to a driver. A driver is an interface between various components like compiler and also execution engine, right? It takes that high query and passes to the compiler so that the compiler can actually connect to Metastore and get the information that is required for the execution. So, what is a metastore here? A metastore is nothing but a metadata about Hive itself. So, for example, your tables, column names, and where is this, located? What table has what column? So, all those kind of metastore, metadata about Hive is actually stored in metastore, right? This is forced to do it on a MySQL instance or any relational database, right? This is nothing but a relational database that contains metadata about entire Hive, right? So that is used for compiling your input queries, and then it will send the plan for the driver. Once the driver has the plan information from the compiler, the execution is then sent to a execution engine. This is also called as Hive execution engine. It can be running on MapReduce or Tez, right? So these are the execution engine. So what execution engine does is it takes the execute plan and it passes the control to the job tracker. So the job tracker is when it will internally work with the Hadoop environment, right? It basically spins up the map and reduce tasks. So that will internally work with the name node and data nodes. So what happens when you let's say write select star from a table, the control is passed to the driver, it goes to the compiler, gets all the schema details from the metastore, and sends that plan to execution engine. So that way execution engine will communicate with the tracker to get all the data, data from the data nodes, right? So that's how the data, if you look at this last operation, this is how a data fetch is performed, right? So this is all about Hive architecture in a very quick session. I know it is a lot to discuss here, but for the sake of wrapping it up early, right, I have got this architecture. So you may want to pause this video and then look at the sequence of activities, how it is performed, and based on that you can have better understanding. So let's move on. We will look at the Hive DDLs. So DDLs are nothing but data definition languages. So data definition languages are something that you use it for defining or changing the structure of the table or a database in Hive. So let's say if you want to create a new database, you make use of this create DDL, right? If you want to show, if you want to see like what are the tables, what are the database exist, you make use of show DDL. Similarly, you describe to view the content of the table, right? Just the structure of the table. Describe will give you only the structure of the table, and use will actually use the database, which means you are connecting to a particular database and then you perform show tables or create tables, those sort of DDL. And using create, you can even create a database or a create table or a view, and there are several things we'll be looking at in our hands-on session. We can also perform alter operations in Hive. to alter a database and also a table to add more columns or change the data type and things like that. And the last DDL is the truncate. This is to clear the content of the table, right? This is the truncate one. So these are some of the Hive DDLs: create, show, describe, use, drop, alter, and truncate. So moving on, we have got Hive DMLs. So DMLs are nothing but data manipulation language, right? These are used to let's say you want to insert data into a table, if you want to modify some of the data, if you want to delete some of the data. So that's where DMLs come in handy to perform various operations. This, I know most percentage compared to any Oracle or SQL, these commands are very much similar. However, there are few extra options here to specify some of the HDFS related parameters. Right, so load is nothing but loading your local HDFS path data into Hive database. So that's why we use load local in path command. And as you might be very familiar, select is possible. Select star or select columns from a particular table. And similarly, you can insert data, delete data, update data, and also you can perform export and import. And as you see, initial version of the Hive, it was not supporting insert, delete, update operation. These are all asset transactions, right? So recently, not very recently, it's been like few years already. Hive supports inserting data, update and delete is also allowed in Hive database. But most likely we would not be using update and delete because it's going to be really slow. It is as we discussed in the beginning itself, right? Hive is meant for online analytical processing, right? You write once but you read it many times. So that's why we call it as OLAP. Hive is suitable for OLAP. All right, so let's look at the hands-on. So for that, I got a client installed. The name of the client is called Agility Pro. This becomes really handy. So it is very easy to interact with the Hive database. Not only Hive, it supports many other databases, right? So let's before we make the connection, let's look at Ambari here. So I have this Hortonworks sandbox installed on my local computer. So I'm using the Oracle VirtualBox, right? So the Hadoop sandbox is of 3.1, sorry 3.0, and I have already started it. So when you on the browser, when you log on to localhost 8080 port, it is by default you will be getting redirected to Ambari login page. Let me sign out and show it you. So this is how you will be getting initial screen. You can use your admin credentials or any other credentials to log into Ambari. When you log into Ambari, you will on the left hand side you will see HDFS, right? It gives all the information about your data nodes, your name node, whether if it is up and running. If there are any issues, it's gonna show us here in the notification, right? So this is all about HDFS. And similarly, you will have a tab called Hive. So here, this is where you will see whether my Metastore, right? That this is where all the definitions are saved, right? This is how it stores and shows here in Ambari. Um, it will also give you the JDBC URL for the connections. You can use it this way. Just take this part and then use it on the client, right? By default, it will also have a Hive client, but it's not very user friendly. You can even access Hive database using a regular SSH, right, by logging into Hive account and then query directly on the SSH. But it's not very user friendly, so we always go with some external SQL client. For some reason, if you have the Hive database installed, but if it's not running, you can go to actions and then start or stop or restart, right? So these are some of the options available in Ambari. Okay, so now that we have looked at Ambari, So this is the connection. When you open the Agility Pro, you can create connection here with this plus sign. And initially, the very first time, it will ask you to download the driver, right? Remember, architecture has a driver component, so it lets you download that Hive driver first. And after that, you can specify the local host and standard default port, right? Hive server 2, and you just give the username and password if it is set. If not, you can just leave it blank, and you can click on test. Now it is successful, right? So now I are connected to a database. Let's look at some of the DDLs first, right? So as soon as you connect, you have a way to choose your database here. By default, this will be picked up. Default will be picked up, and let's see what are the different databases available, right? So this lists out all the various databases that are available in Hive, right? So let's look at the create database command, right? All you have to do is create database and then the database name. Okay, so now the database is created. Let's see if it is getting showed up here. Yes, it is DemoDB. This is the database that we created. Let's make use of that database. So which means we are connected to this particular database, and in that database, let's see if we have any table. Because we just created the database, there will not be any table, right? So when we scroll down, I already written all this DDLs here to save some time. So if you look at it, the DDL for Hive is exactly same as regular Oracle or SQL, but there is an exception here you may want to see, and also you may want to pay attention to the data types. The syntax is create table, table name, and then the column, and then the data type, right? And towards the end, you can see these are the optional parameters for creating any table. So you can specify your row format, right? You can even specify the stored as file format, like if you want to do it as CSV or TXT or ZZip or any other type, you can specify that. And for the row format is nothing but delimited or any other format. And you can even specify the location. So let's say if you have the HDFS, the file, your data file is already in HDFS, you can specify the location of this HDFS file. So that way it is by default it will take care of HDFS data file, right? Let me go ahead and run this. For that you have several options. Either you can highlight and run cursor. So now the table is created. So let's see show tables now. Okay, so now we can see demo underscore table is now existing. So in order to alter, right, we want to see this example also. So you can just keep your cursor and then click on run query. So now sorry, you can run this command and you can have it. Looks like when I executed previously, it also executed the alter command. Let's see. With describe table, we should be able to see. Yeah, so the column is already altered, right? The table is altered by adding this particular column, right? So this is how the describe works. And once this is done, you can do a select star from the table name. So it will show all the records that are existing. So these are the above ones we have seen as a DDLs, right? We also have a few more DDLs towards the end to drop the table and drop the table, right? So now that we have created a database and a table, right, we were now able to alter the table, right? Let's look at inserting a data, because our table is right now empty. So let's look at how do we insert data into a Hive table. Okay, so now so let's look at this. Insert into a table name and then the values. So the values should contain all the columns that are existing in the table, right? In our case, we have this ID, name and the date, salary, and then the description, sorry, department of this particular record. Now you see the record is already inserted, right? So this is one way of hard coding your values and then inserting the data. So there is another way, you can even write your select query and then insert your data into Hive, right? So for that we will be writing insert into table name, select, and then all the columns. If any of the column is missing, then the query will not work and the data will not be inserted. Okay, so this is how it works. Now to perform some update, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one of the column called salary, right? I'll be using this column called salary, and I want to change the salary for this. Okay, so for that the command is update table name, set salary equals to so and so, where the ID is 1. So only one record where the ID is equal to 1, the salary will be updated. Okay, so the describe table name command statement is used to list down all the columns that are existing in a particular table. It will also show the data types. And moving on, select star from a table will show the data from a particular table. You can do either star to get all the column names, or you can even choose a particular columns from a database. Okay, so this is how it shows the column names on the top, and the data we don't have anything now. So let's do a quick insert into this particular table. So here is the insert command, insert into a particular table name and then the values. So this way you provide your hard-coded values for whatever columns you have. You should be providing the values for each and every columns for in that particular table. And there is another way, instead of hard coding values, you can even use a select statement to pick up the data from some other table or any other place. You can even use insert into this table along with select from a different table. You can do that as well. So for now I just took an example wherein I'm showing select from a hard coded value, but if you have a table you can directly get it from there. Right, so this is how your insert works, two types of insert. And coming to updates, you can perform any update for a particular column along with any condition. So the syntax is update table name, set the salary or whatever fields that you want to set. You can set the value for that, but we should be giving the wait clause as well, so that only that particular record gets executed. So as you might have already observed, the insert and update operations are pretty slow in Hive. That too, I'm using my local sandbox. It's going to be faster with the real Hadoop nodes. Right now we have only one node, so it's a little bit slower. Okay, so now that we have looked at insert and update, let's look at one more create command now. So what I'm saying, I'm creating another table by selecting the data from one table, the table that we just inserted data. We will do that operation, create table demo table 1 as select from the existing table. So this will automatically take care of copying the structure and the data from this particular table to your new table. So the new table is now created. So now let's look at a delete operation. The syntax is delete from the table name where the ID equals 1. Right, so let's do that delete and then look at the date table. Deletes and updates are pretty slow in Hive, so you will see this time taking even with 10 node cluster or even more than that. So it's most likely used for insert operations. So now let's see the record number 1. We deleted the ID equal to 1, so we have only ID number 2 in the table. You have option to truncate the table completely. If there are like 1000 records, all those records will be deleted. Truncate is always faster compared to delete, because it's not keeping track of any deletion. Right, so now if you do a select star from table, the table is empty because we just truncated it. Now we'll look at couple more DDL operation, which is drop table. So we created this table, so I'm going to drop that. So the table is dropped, and let's drop the other table also that we created. Right, so before we do that, the final drop database, if you go back and do the show tables, so there are no tables. Right, at the end we can go back and drop the database. So the commands are pretty simple: drop table table name or drop database name. Right, so let's look at what are the databases available. See that DemoDB is now disappeared from the database list. So this is how you perform various DDL and DML operations. I'll be pasting all the SQL queries in the description box below. You can make use of these scripts and do your hands-on session. All right, that's all I got for today. Thank you guys and happy learning. Bye bye.